30, that is Brian Grisham. Brian Grisham. Number 13 is B.J. Washer. B.J. Washer, we've been watching him for several years now. Michael Collins, also number 20. He's a good outside shooter. 21 is Andy Brim. He's one of the big guys. And Jason Bennett, number 23. He is up there around 6'7", 6'8". Should be an interesting battle on the inside tonight between Clarkrange and Carthage. And now the Clarkrange cheerleaders come out on the floor. The house lights dim except for the spotlight. And here we go, Clarkrange lineup. Matt Miller, number 4 for Clarkrange. Brian Copeland, number 40. Maybe that they're going to introduce Greg Garrett, number 22. Larry Howard, number 30. And Coach Rogers, or excuse me, Coach Ramsey, Billy Crouch. Coach Ramsey has changed his lineup, starting lineup a little bit from the last time that we called a Clarkrange game. It's been a couple of weeks now since I did. We had a game or two on video, but we'll have Howard, Crouch, and Garrett, Knatzer, and Miller starting for Clarkrange. Freshman Jamie Deaton will not be starting, but we expect to see him. And it'll be Billy Crouch jumping with number 23, and that is Jason Bennett. And for once, Billy is going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage as far as the height. Billy is 6'7", so I'm guessing that Bennett goes about 6'8", 6'9". But the tip will go to Clarkrange. Billy wins the tip, tips it over to Matt Miller. Miller to Greg Garrett, and Clarkrange working left to right as you listen down toward the back of the gym. Over to Brian Copeland. Copeland, a good shooter, takes it to the baseline, brings it back out to Garrett. And Carthage all over him defensively. Down in the corner to Miller. Getting out there quickly in his face is number 30, Grisham. Here's Billy Crouch, baseline jumper, no good. Rebound by Carthage, and coming away with it is number 21, Andy Brim. Brim will give it back to Washer. Now here's Collins driving to the lane, up and good. Michael Collins, what a drive, coming off the wing. He comes sailing through the lane, and the ball gets away from the official. They'll work it in, or Clarkrange will, and Smith County going to show full court pressure. Copeland trying to find somebody free to get it into. It comes into Miller. Matt Miller up to Billy Crouch. Is stolen away, taken away by Brian Grisham. Grisham over to Collins for a three-pointer, and it rims out on him. Rebound Bennett, putting it back in good. Jason Bennett gets two, and Carthage jumps out to a 4-0 lead. Inbound pass stolen by Washer, and he'll be fouled by Greg Garrett. B.J. Washer with the steal, and he was fouled by Greg Garrett. And this Carthage team has come out of the chute like a shot out of a cannon. Washer to fire it in, having a little bit of difficulty. In comes to Collins. Collins right back to Washer. Washer over Billy Crouch. Jumper won't go. Battle for the rebound off the hands of Copeland, and kept alive by Smith County. Washer over to Collins. He'll put up another three. It's going to be no good. Rebound this time is taken away by Copeland, and he will be fouled, and this time it'll be on number 21, Andy Brim. Brim with the foul for Smith County. 6:53 to go in the first quarter. Carthage with a 4-0 lead, and again, Clarkrange will have to work it in against full court pressure. And Brian Copeland bounces it in to Garrett. It's stolen away by Carthage. Put back up there, no good by Grisham. And it's Matt Miller up court trying to get it to Larry Howard. Larry can't keep it. Yes, he does keep it in, but it's going to be picked up by Carthage. Jason Bennett coming up with a loose ball. Collins to Grisham, firing three, good. Number 30, Brian Grisham, and you could hear Coach Dirk Ash saying, push it, push it. He was wanting to rush it up the floor. 7-0, Carthage with the lead. Greg Garrett over to Brian Copeland. Copeland going baseline. He'll kick it back over to Billy Crouch. Billy in the lane. Over Bennett. It's going to be short. Picked off underneath Larry Howard. Larry too far underneath. Tries to shoot. He'll be fouled. And Larry will go to the basket. And the foul on Andy Brim, his second. And it'll be Larry Howard on the line. Coming back into the game, or coming in for the first time, will be number 12. Going out will be Brim. Coming in will be David Blair. At the line, Larry Howard. Clarkrange not really at a high disadvantage in this game, but they're up against a pretty good-sized team, and Jason Bennett will go around 6'9", I suppose. The free throw by Larry is no good. Larry Howard will have another free throw coming. His team trailing 7-0. And this one is up. It is no good. Rebound is taken away by Carthage with the rebound. It's number 12, David Blair, and he's going to be fouled by Copeland. And Brian Copeland will pick up his first foul, team second. And it'll be Carthage bringing it up. Carthage over to B.J. Washer. Down low, it'll go to Blair. Blair, shot blocked by Larry Howard out on the baseline. It's kept alive, though. B.J. Washer in the lane. Here's Bennett. Bennett, jumper, rims out on him, no good. And on the rebound, there will be a foul on the big boy Bennett. Larry Howard coming down with the ball. And Jason Bennett will pick up his first, team's third. Bennett with the foul. 5:57 to go in the first quarter. We've played just over 2 minutes. And it'll be Brian Copeland to try and get it in. Copeland gets a full court pressure. Long pass to midcourt. Comes to Billy Crouch. To Copeland. And Clarkrange in the front court with a trailer now by 7. Here's a steal. B.J. Washer kicks the ball a little, but comes up with it, and he may have traveled. No call, and now he threw it away. Trying to get it down to David Blair. Carthage coming up with a steal, but out of control. Looked like Washer maybe kicked it once, and I thought maybe he took a step, but there was no call, so probably didn't. But then they let the ball get away from him. Long pass for Clarkrange up the floor. Billy Crouch knocks it over to Larry Howard. Up and good. Well, Clarkrange looks like they've thrown it away. Billy Crouch chased it up the floor. Instead of just catching the ball or grabbing a hold of it, he just punched it over to Larry Howard, who scores. Here's a shot up by Carthage. No good. Rebound. It's B.J. Washer. Washer out to Grisham. Brian Grisham with the basketball. B.J. Washer back to Collins. Collins, a little head fake. Doesn't take the three-pointer. He'll go low, go around. Billy Crouch at the side of the backboard of the shot. Here's Bennett trying to go back up. Larry Howard blocks the shot. Coach Durkash wanting a foul call. And now, a major collision here. A blocking foul. They'll call a blocking foul on number 30, Brian Grisham. And it was a major collision there between Garrett and Grisham, who had the block or tried to set a block right at midcourt. And he ran through him, but they call the block on Grisham. Clarkrange with the basketball, having all sorts of trouble with this man-to-man defense. Down low it goes to Howard, and he'll be fouled, and that'll be no, it's going to be out of bounds. They do not call a foul. Bennett looked like reaching around or kind of getting his arms tangled up with Larry Howard, but they say no foul there. The official talking to the players, maybe getting a little rough out there. And it's going to be brought in by Greg Garrett, 7-2. In it comes Larry Howard, goes up high for it. He'll try to go up over Bennett, and Bennett just there, standing there flat-footed, looked like knocked the ball out of his hands. It's rolling free. We have a technical. And Steve Ramsey has just been hit with, I think, 2 technicals. 2 technicals called against Coach Steve Ramsey. And apparently Coach Ramsey upset that maybe no foul was called in there. Larry Howard going up for the shot, and Bennett didn't look like he even got off the floor, but somehow rejected the shot. And so at the line will be Michael Collins, free throw good. So they hit Steve with 1 technical, and I think he protested that and got a second. And this one is good by Collins, and he'll be right back at the line for 2 more. Plus, of course, they'll get the ball back. 9-2. And Michael Collins getting his free throw shooting practice in. He's hit 3 straight. He'll have another. And this one is no good. Only made 3 out of 4, and Carthage is going to get the ball leading 10-2. And Clarkrange is going to want a timeout. Timeout, and I think Coach Ramsey is going to talk with the officials. We have a timeout. Carthage leads 10-2.
The book on good service was written by a company in Pine Haven. The company, Frog & Williams Incorporated, specialist in crushed limestone of all grades and sizes, including agricultural lime. Whether you're in need of gravel for a driveway or a major construction site, you'll receive the same fast delivery and good service. Call Frog & Williams at 879-ROCK.
When it comes to good service, we wrote the book.
And a timeout called by Clarkrange, 10-2. Coach Steve Ramsey wanting to talk with the officials, but the official refusing to talk with him. And so it'll be Clarkrange or Carthage bringing it in. 10-2 is your score. The Owls have jumped out to an 8-point lead. They led 7-0 at one point. Then Clarkrange getting hit with a double technical. Here's Michael Collins traveling in the lane. Yes. Traveling call on Michael Collins as he started to drive down the lane. And Brian Copeland fires it into midcourt to Billy Crouch, almost stripped away by Collins. Billy back over to number 22, Greg Garrett, working here against Blair. Greg in the lane, crashes into, and we'll have traveling on Garrett. Clarkrange having all sorts of difficulty with the Carthage defense. 10-2 is your score. Carthage with the lead, 4:32. We'll be seeing these Carthage teams at least twice more this season when they play York. Michael Collins with the basketball, working here against Matt Miller. B.J. Washer across to Grisham, back to Collins, now at the point. 4:14 to go in the first quarter. B.J. Washer working against Greg Garrett. Carthage a little more patient this time. Here's Collins along the lane, a jumper, good. Michael Collins has 7 so far. Clarkrange going to throw it away on the inbound. They threw it up the left side. It goes out of bounds. Nobody there. Clarkrange have a lot of trouble with the press of Carthage. And to Michael Collins. Collins working against Miller. Miller reaching for the ball. Now falls down. Over to B.J. Washer it comes. Washer looking low, can't get it there. Now goes inside to Bennett. Bennett's big boy shooting it up there short. Put back no good by Blair. Battle for the rebound. Carthage keeping it alive, and they'll call Bennett, and that should be his. Will that be his third? No, that's only his second. His second foul. It is 1-1 time now for Clarkrange. That's 5 on Carthage, and Bennett going to sit down. And coming into the game will be number 33, I believe that is down there. We'll have to check that number in a moment. Larry Howard going to be at the line for Clarkrange. Larry at the line for 1-1. Clarkrange down to 10. Larry getting his third point. He has all 3 of them for Clarkrange so far. And I believe the net a little bit tangled. Looks like maybe it's hung up on the back of the. Now it's straightened up. 12-3 is your score. Clarkrange trailing Carthage by 9. Larry Howard trying to make that an 8-point deficit. And this was up and good. Larry with all 4 of the Clarkrange points. And it'll be Carthage bringing it down. Leading by 8, 12-4, 3:37. Michael Collins with the basketball. Over here to B.J. Washer. Washer to the corner. There's Grisham firing. It's no good. Rebound will be put back up there and good. And that was put back up and good by number 32, Richie Moran. Clarkrange coming back. The ball knocked out of bounds at the far end of the floor. It'll be knocked out by David Blair, so we'll give it out to Clarkrange. 14-4. 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Then it comes to Larry Howard, and we have a foul along the lane. Going to be a foul on number 32, Richie Moran. His first, team's, well, that's about 6, I believe. Clarkrange already in the bonus. And Larry Howard right back at the line. Larry 2 of 4 from the line. He has all 4 of the Clarkrange points. 14-4 your score. Larry Howard, free throw good. 14-5. And Larry will have another one coming. It's up and no good. Off the front of the rim. Picked off by Carthage, and back will come the Owls, leading it by 9, 14-5. Michael Collins across the line to the right side to number 30, Grisham. Back out to Collins. 3:07 to go in the quarter. Clarkrange girls winning handily. In the lane it goes to Moran. It's up, it's no good. Battle for the rebound. There was a collision, but no call. And Clarkrange with it. Larry Howard out to Greg Garrett. Garrett trying to get it to Miller in quick hands, but Michael Collins, he is definitely one of the better players around. Quick hands, he knocked the ball away. And here comes big number 33, Kenrick King. Kenrick King, that was 32, who came in earlier. We couldn't really see his number when he first came in, and that I thought it was 33, but 33 is now Kenrick King coming in. And we remember him from football and from basketball in years gone by. Billy Crouch, bank shot good. Billy Crouch getting the inbound speed. A little bank shot from the left side, and the Buffaloes have cut the lead down to 7. With the basketball, Michael Collins backs it out near midcourt. Matt Miller going for the steal, couldn't come up with it. Over to Gresham, coming through the line. There's Kenrick King against Larry Howard. He's traveling. Kenrick King called for traveling. So give it out to the Buffaloes, down by 7. Brian Copeland. Oh, his inbound pass hit Brian Gresham in the back of the head. Brian Gresham, most startled person in the gym, as Copeland's pass intended for Larry Howard in the corner. Gresham was guarding him, had his back to the ball, and the ball popped him in the back of the head. Brian Copeland, long pass up court, Larry Howard. Larry lays it up and in. Larry Howard just took off for the basket, and Brian Copeland threw the ball as far as he could. Larry caught it and laid it in. 14-9. Clarkrange has cut it down to a 5-point. Carthage late. Collins, whistle. There's some pushing going on, I think, or a foul in the lane. Matt Miller will be called for this one. Matt Miller will be charged for number 1. That's only 3 on Clarkrange. And it's going to be Carthage down to our left. By the way, if I haven't mentioned it, the action is being videotaped tonight to be shown Sunday at about 2:45 here in Clarkrange. This is Gresham with the basketball to B.J. Washer in the lane for Collins. Collins looses it, picked up by Miller, out to Garrett, to Larry Howard. Larry too far underneath to get a shot away, just flips it back out. Nice speed to Billy Crouch. Billy for a 3. It's going to be way short, and the rebound drops into the hands of B.J. Washer. Well, Clarkrange did a good job of keeping it in, but Billy Crouch a little short. Now the ball knocked out of bounds by Crouch, and it'll be Carthage to work it back in. 1:52 to go in the first quarter. And Carthage leading it by 5. B.J. Washer to fire it in up the right side. It comes in at the hash mark to Gresham. Gresham to Collins, down low to Washer. Washer gets striped across the eye. Apparently the official didn't see it. And the ball is out of bounds off of Carthage. Somebody must have raked a hand across Washer's face, but the official was behind the play and didn't see any foul occur. And possibly that wasn't a foul, just an accidental thing. But Washer's okay, and he brings the ball in. This is Collins at the hash mark, working against Billy Crouch. Now he's going to try to penetrate the lane. He does, flips it up, and good. Michael Collins, outstanding player. He has 9 already. Full court pressure from Carthage up to Matt Miller at the hash mark. He brings it on across. Matt Miller looking for somebody free. Gets it up high. Larry Howard. Larry to the basket. Jumper, no good. And Kenrick King will take the rebound for Carthage. 1:15 to go in the first. Underneath, there's Blair, up and good. Nice feed from outside by Collins. David Blair getting his first 2. Back will come Clarkrange, down by 9. Matt Miller. Matt Miller along the lane, now out into the corner to Billy, to Brian Copeland for a 3. It's short. Clarkrange a little short on their long one. 54 seconds to go. There's Collins again to Blair. Bank shot good. Michael Collins looking one way and whipping the ball hard inside to Blair. It's 20-9, and they have gone back out to an 11-point lead. Here comes Larry Howard. Nice move, but he left the ball momentarily. Gets it back, puts it up, no good. Billy Crouch puts it back and good. Billy came sneaking through the lane to put it back in. 20-11, 33 seconds to go. Michael Collins, double teamed at midcourt, comes on across, stumbling, but gets it down to Blair again. This time it's no good. Billy Crouch whips it off. Billy to Larry Howard, pushes it up court to Greg Garrett. He is bumped there by Washer. Garrett keeps the dribble going, puts it up, no good. Battle for the rebound. Coming away with it is Gresham. 15 seconds to go in the quarter. This game full of action. B.J. Washer up to the midcourt stripe. Double team. Gets it across to King. Kenrick King drives it into the lane. Hands it off to Blair. Blair has it batted away by Howard. Gets it back up and no good. Rebound Billy Crouch, and that's the end of the first quarter. End of 1. It's Carthage 20, Clarkrange 11.
It takes years of hard work to build a solid banking foundation. At Union Bank, we've been working for the people of this community since 1904, offering banking services that respond to your financial needs when you need them the most.
Join our hometown family at the working bank.
Union Bank, your home-owned bank in Jamestown. Member FDIC.
York and Clarkrange basketball is brought to you by D&M Auto Sales and Salvage Yard, owned and operated by Mark Stewart, located on the Pickett State Park Road in Jamestown, where you'll find top-quality used parts at reasonable prices, a good selection of used tires and wheels, plus complete mechanical work and 24-hour wrecker service. Calling from out of county, call D&M Auto Sales and Salvage Yard toll-free at 1-800-872-1397. That's 1-800-872-1397.
We save you time and money.
And several new faces out there for Carthage as we begin the second quarter. They lead it by 9, and Coach Dirk Ash sending out at least 3 new faces along the lane. Here is Kendrick King. He will be called for traveling. Couple of moves, and then he took it to the glass, but he's called for traveling. So give it out to the Buffaloes, who trail by 9 points. Buffaloes trailing by 9, and they bring it up. And we have some faces out there, new faces for Carthage as they stay in their man-to-man. Greg Garrett against Collins. Billy Crouch along the lane. Jumper good. Billy Crouch going up over Kendrick King. And sooner or later we'll get around to those new names for Carthage. We have John Allen Long out there. Here's another one, number 22 down in the corner. That is Stacy Angel. And here's the other one, Stephen Lish. Lish to Angel. And there's a shot, though. That was Collins coming over. No good. Follow-up is good by number 22, Stacy Angel. Angel got the feed from Long, but couldn't score. And here comes Clarkrange. Greg Garrett bounce pass inside Larry Howard. Larry over to Billy. Billy in lane. Ball being knocked around, and here's a shot rejected. Billy gets it right back, goes to the glass, no good. Battle for the rebound. Larry Howard, and there's a foul. Kendrick King. Kendrick King will be called for the foul. And coming back into the game will be number 30, Brian Grisham. 22-13. Boy, we've got lots and lots of action in this one, but not a whole lot of scoring going on right now. 20-13 your score. Michael Collins going to sit down. And Larry Howard, all sorts of big battles going on the inside as they fight for the rebounds. Larry Howard free throw good. Larry with 8 now in the game. Larry Howard 8 points, and Clarkrange trails by 8 points. 22-14, and this one by Larry is up and good. 22-15, 6:55 to go in the half. This is Brian Grisham over to number 10, and that is Stephen Lish. Down in the corner to John Allen Long. Gets it back out to Lish. Now to Grisham. Grisham over to number 22, Stacy Angel. Shot no good. Rebound Larry Howard, and he'll be fouled, and they're pointing in there at Stephen Lish. Stephen Lish will be called for a personal, and Clarkrange will be going to the line. Coming back will be Jason Bennett. Jason Bennett, who has to be about 6 feet 9 inches tall, or maybe even 6'10". He's a little bigger than Billy Crouch. Kendrick King coming out. At the line, Larry Howard. Larry with 9 of the Clarkrange 15 points, and 5 of those are from the line. This one is good. Clarkrange, a total of 5 field goals so far here in the first half. We've played about 9.5 minutes. And this one is good by Larry. Larry with 7 from the free throw line. 11 points altogether. Clarkrange trailing by just 5 now, 22-17. So slowly but surely they're getting back into this one. Here's the ball batted out of bounds. Billy Crouch tips it into the Carthage bench, and here comes Collins, Washer, and also coming back 21, Andy Brown. So Coach Dirk Ash substituting very freely here in the early stages of the game. And I think we have virtually the starting lineup back out there. B.J. Washer brings it into Michael Collins. So Clarkrange got it to within 5, and they bring this. Here's a steal. Larry Howard. Larry may go for a slam, and he does. Larry Howard anticipating the pass. Intercepted, took off, had a step on the defender, and he slammed it and brought the rim about halfway down. And now we have traveling on Carthage. And the Buffaloes, trailing by 3, will get the ball back. Carthage turns it over, and Clarkrange is going to bring it back down. Brian Copeland will fire it in to Billy Crouch. Billy will pull it up in the circle, shoot over Bennett. It's going to be short. Rebound. There will be a foul on Clarkrange. I believe they're going to say Matt Miller on the back. For Matt Miller, that'll be his second. 22-19 is your score. And it'll be Carthage to work it back up the floor. And Coach Steve Ramsey talking to Brian Copeland, and we're going to get a substitution. Brian holding his head. He may have been bumped out there and maybe caught an elbow to the back of the head. Here comes Jamie Deaton, the freshman, the big 6'5" freshman. So Clarkrange getting a little more height in there. Bringing it down is Grisham over to number 21, Andy Brim, and Carthage back in the front court. Brim will put up a 3. It's going to be no good off the right side. Billy Crouch pulls down the rebound. Billy gets down Larry Howard. Larry needs some help. Matt Miller across the line. Matt to Deaton. Deaton on the baseline. He crashes into Bennett. That'll be an offensive foul. No, a block. And that'll be the third on Bennett. Jason Bennett, his third. And just knew that one was going to be a charge, but he calls the block on Bennett, and Bennett will come right back to the bench. So he is the biggest boy on the floor, but he's having to spend a lot of his time on the bench and some foul trouble here early. And it's going to be Jamie Deaton, the freshman, at the line for Clarkrange. His team trailing by 3. This one is no good, and the rebound is by Kenrick King. Kenrick King with the rebound, and Carthage will bring it back. They lead by 3. B.J. Washer, baseline jumper, air ball, and kicked out of bounds, I believe. They say it's off of Garrett. Somebody kicked it out of bounds. Garrett, a little off balance. He may have kicked it out himself. B.J. Washer to work it in. Washer to Collins. Michael Collins. Bring it back out front to Grisham. Collins trying to adjust the position of some of his teammates. Gets Brim out on the wing. The ball comes back to the left side. B.J. Washer to Grisham. Washer holding it high. Kenrick King from the corner for 3. The big guy can shoot, and that one goes back in. That was worth 3. That was worth 3 by Kenrick King. 24-19 is your score. With the basketball, Clarkrange down by 5 now. Maybe they only gave him 2 on that. I guess it is. Here's a shot that is no good by Clarkrange, and that tip may have went to Andy Brim. They maybe gave a tip in on that last shot. And we have a foul called against Clarkrange, number 50, I believe. Jamie Deaton called for a foul. They are wondering, Coach Dirk Ash wondering the same thing that I am wondering right now. The officials discussed it. Was that a 3-point shot? It was a 3. The shot was taken from, they gave him a 3-pointer. It was Kenrick King shooting it out of the corner. The ball rimmed out. Looked like maybe it was tipped back in, and I assumed it was a 3 because that was the indication given by the official, but the scorekeepers up here apparently felt it was just a 2 because it was tipped. But anyway, the official says it was a 3-point bucket. The shot is no good. The free throw is no good by Brim. Larry Howard being blocked by B.J. Washer, and B.J. Washer will be called for his first foul. 25-19 is your score. Carthage by 6, and Clarkrange will see Larry Howard going to the line. At the line is number 30, Larry Howard, and he has spent a lot of time there. Larry, let's see, 6 times in the first quarter. He's been there 10 times altogether. He's 7 of 10 from the line. And this one is up and good. Larry Howard will have another one coming. He makes the first. Larry with about 14, I believe. This one will make 15. 25-21, 4-point ball game. Carthage with the lead. They double team or pick up the ball at midcourt. Inside it goes for Kenrick King. Off of him, out of bounds. Give it out to the Buffaloes. Hard pass on the inside for King. It bounced, looked like off his chest, and goes out of bounds. As big as he is, he can take a few off the chest and never notice it. 25-21. Jamie Deaton to get it in, brings it in to Greg Garrett. Bounces off of Collins. And here's the ball down low, up and, there was some hanging on the rim by Jamie Deaton, and Carthage wanting a technical. Jamie trying to follow a missed shot, but a foul had been called. And the foul going to be charged to number 30, Grisham. Jamie Deaton coming through trying to tip in the missed shot by Matt Miller, and Jamie grabbing the rim. Carthage wanting a technical call, but nothing doing, says the official. Miller will be at the line. Matt Miller, free throw, no good. He'll have another. Matt Miller will have one more free throw coming. And Miller's second one just about to be taken. It's up, and it is, it's going to rattle, no good. Rebound, it's down on the floor, picked up by Brim. He'll get it out of there to Michael Collins, 4:22. Collins down low, tries to get it inside. King stolen by Greg Garrett. Greg Garrett in a three-point stance, kept the dribble going. Greg Garrett, nicely done, avoiding the pressure. Down low to Deaton. Deaton over King. Bank shot won't go. Put it up by Billy. Hung on the rim, no good. And the rebound is taken away by Brim. Andy Brim. Now the ball over to Grisham. Grisham inside Kendrick King, and there will be a foul on Larry Howard reaching in late. Larry Howard will pick up his first. Larry Howard will send Kendrick King to the line. At the line will be Kendrick King. Being fouled by Larry Howard, but he would have almost certainly scored had Larry not drawn the foul. And the free throw here is good. Kendrick King with 4 points. Timeout Clarkrange. 3:54 to go in the first half, and Carthage leads at 26-21.
Fentress County General Hospital is dedicated to serving the needs of the community and its residents. Since 1960, Fentress County General Hospital has provided quality medical care to the people of the Upper Cumberland area. Like local schools, businesses, and churches, a community hospital is a key resource that enhances the quality of life where we work and live. Fentress County General Hospital, providing quality medical care for the Upper Cumberland area.
3 minutes and 54 seconds remaining in the first half, with Carthage leading 26-21. And the Buffaloes down by 7 a couple of times there early on, but they cut it back to 2 at one point. Well, actually 3. That one shot by King, they initially only put 2 points on the board, and it looked like it was a 2-point lead for Carthage, but then they put the other point up there and it made it 3. So Clarkrange has been to within 3 a couple of times. They trail now by 5. Kendrick King back at the line. He made his first, and he misses this one. So the foul by Larry Howard actually turned out to be a pretty good one. Clarkrange with a rebound back into the front court. Greg Garrett with it on the wing, right side. Back out to Matt Miller. Miller to Garrett in the corner. Billy Krause moving into the lane. Here's Larry Howard. Baseline jumper, good. Larry Howard, he's having a big first quarter. He must be getting up somewhere around 16, 17 points. We'll total them all at the half. Here's Michael Collins, top of the circle, takes it into the lane. Shot blocked by Jamie Deaton. Ball on the floor, put back up there by Collins. No good. A foul will be charged, and I believe this is going to go against Larry Howard. Jamie Deaton blocked his first shot, though. And Larry Howard will pick up his second. Coming into the game will be Jason Ramsey, number 44 for the Buffaloes. Larry will sit down. 26-23. (26-23) is your score. And this one's up. It is no good by Michael Collins. Collins with 9. He scored all of those in the first quarter. And Michael's second one up there, that's good. Collins with 10. And it's a 4-point lead. The inbound speed from Clarkrange gets away. The pass from Miller to Garrett up the right side, too high. Substitution, Blair coming in, and coming out will be Brim. And it'll be B.J. Washer bringing it in to number 30, who is Brian Grisham. Back to Washer. Washer loses the ball, falls down. He'll be called for traveling, trying to work it around Jamie Deaton. And Deaton holding his ground. Washer lost the possession, falling down then with the ball, and is called for traveling. And it'll be Clarkrange getting it back, trailing before, 27-23. Here's the inbound pass coming to Larry Howard, who's back into the game. Larry gives it back over to Greg Garrett, and Greg Garrett will bring it up and across the timeline. Greg Garrett with the basketball to Larry Howard along the lane, spinning to the baseline. He crashes into Blair, no call either way. Ball pops free, picked up by, this is Collins. Collins pulls it up on a wing with 2:47 to go in the half. Collins and Washer on the right side. Now across the lane it comes to Grisham, firing for three, no good. Followed by Collins, no good. Battle for the rebound. Collins with it. Collins, little head fake, puts it back up there and no good. Rebound this time, it is Grisham putting it up and good. Carthage keeping the ball alive. They must have got 3 offensive rebounds that time. Here's Clarkrange, long inbound feed to Howard. Howard at midcourt, drives it past Collins, goes baseline, works it up the baseline. Larry going to do it all himself. This shot was no good. Billy Crouch putting it back and good. Billy Crouch has 8. 4 field goals for Billy. It's a 4-point game again, 29-25. Clarkrange trying to trap on the ball at midcourt, but getting on across was Grisham. Over to B.J. Washer. Back to Grisham. In the circle, Collins. Collins wide open. Kenrick King down low. Nice feed by Collins to a wide open Kenrick King. King has 6. And now Greg Garrett will be bumped hard by Michael Collins, and that'll be the first one on Collins. Or he didn't call a foul. I can't believe that. Greg Garrett was bumped hard. No foul call, apparently. And Miller. The ball remains in Clarkrange possession. But Greg Garrett was bumped hard that time. The ball flew out of his hands, but no call. Here's Billy Crouch, and he'll be fouled down low. And Michael Collins a little upset with that call. And that'll be on Collins, so we had put the 1 foul down for him, but and at the line will be Billy Crouch. I was certain they would call a foul when he bumped Garrett, but no call there. And then the other official calling the foul down low on Collins. Billy Crouch free throw, no good. It's a 6-point game, 31-25. And this one by Billy is good. Billy with 9. The Buffaloes trail by 5, 31-26. A minute 39 to go in the first half. B.J. Washer back to, this is 30 Grisham. Over to Washer. Washer going to drive the lane. Nice drive by Washer and good. B.J. Washer getting his first points of the game. Greg Garrett double teamed and backcourt to Larry Howard. Larry up court to Billy. Billy to Matt Miller. Matt Miller drives into Kenrick King. Loses the ball. Picked up by Grisham. And Matt Miller is aching, if not hurt. He's getting up and moving okay. Here's Grisham against Howard. Howard blocks the shot. Howard blocks the shot of Kenrick King. And Howard with the loose ball. Howard in front court to Matt Miller. Miller's all right. Here's Miller from the left side against King, and he'll be fouled by King. And we may get a technical, we do, against Kenrick King. Kenrick King more or less shoved the ball at the official and is called for the technical. For Kenrick King, that's a couple of fouls. And after the foul call, Kenrick King, I think more or less as a reflex action, almost threw the ball at the official. Underhand shove, you might say, and the official calling the technical. And at the line will be Matt Miller for Clarkrange. 53 seconds to go in the first half. Clarkrange trailing Carthage by 7. At the line, Matt Miller. He'll be shooting too, of course. And this one is up and no good by Miller. Miller 0-3 from the line. And he'll have another opportunity coming. It's up and good by Matt. His first of the night. 33-27, 6-point ball game. And now Larry Howard, or Matt, I should say Matt was shooting his shots from being fouled by King, and now Larry is shooting the technical. Larry misses the first. Larry Howard shooting the technical. Technical foul called on King in addition to the personal foul. Larry's second one is good. Larry at the line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He has made 10 free throws and missed 4. He's been at the line 14 times during the first half, made 10 of them. It's a 5-point game. Carthage by 5. Brian Copeland over to Greg Garrett. 49 seconds down low. Larry Howard, short one. Houston air ball. Billy Crouch out of bounds with a rebound. Coming down out of bounds with the rebound. And it'll be brought in by Carthage with 45 seconds to go in the first half. They lead by 5, 33-28. Wide open down low is number 32 of Carthage, and that is Richie Moran. As Clarkrange trying to trap the ball at midcourt, everybody was up near the middle of the floor, and Moran was all alone down low. 35-28, 7-point lead for Carthage. Down low, it's stolen away. They tried to get it into Billy Crouch, picked off by Collins. They'll come back with 20 seconds. Coach Ashton bring it out. They throw it inside. It's picked off. Coach Dirk Ash trying to tell them, bring it out with 20 seconds to go, and it was picked off when they went inside. Here is Copeland. Back out to Miller. Down to 7 seconds. Clarkrange going to have to hurry. Down low, Greg Garrett shot swatted out of bounds. It'll belong to Clarkrange. 3 seconds to go. They're going to get Bennett in there real quick. Bennett. They're getting Jason Bennett in on the ball, the coach says. He'll try and deny the inbounds pass. Gets in front of Larry Howard with 3 seconds to go. Clarkrange will need to get a quick shot. They'll look for Billy Crouch. Into Billy it comes. Billy from baseline, and he's got it. Billy Crouch. And that's the end of the first half. And Carthage doing all they could do to try and deny Clarkrange that last shot, putting Bennett in there. And for Clarkrange coming out will be Matt Miller, Brian Copeland, Larry Howard, Billy Crouch, and Greg Garrett. And your score at halftime, Carthage 35 and Clarkrange 30. It'll be Clarkrange basketball. Brian Copeland brings it in to Larry Howard, who will give it right on to Greg Garrett. Greg working against B.J. Washer into the front court. B.J. down to Larry Howard. Larry on the baseline. Ball pops out of his hands. He gets it back. Those long arms came in handy. Here's Matt Miller for a three. Good. Matt Miller popping a three-pointer for the Buffaloes, and they pulled to within 2, 35-33. Buffaloes have never led in this game. Carthage jumped out early to a 7-0 lead. And Clarkrange has been fighting to get back into just a tie. Here's Collins, and there's 2 for Michael Collins. Collins had 10 in the first half, 9 in the first quarter. And it's back to a 4-point game, or it is now a 4-point game, 37-33. Brian Copeland firing for 3. It's going to be no good. Rebound over the head of Collins. He manages to pull it back in, though. Keep the dribble going. And Collins brings it down. Collins going to pull it up, and he'll double pump. It's no good. Kendrick King puts it back in good. Kendrick King had 6 points in the first half. And it's now a 6-point game after Clarkrange had cut it to 2. Inside it goes Billy Crouch, and a pushing foul inside. Billy Crouch, I believe they're going to call a push on, yes. Billy Crouch getting his first of the game. Team's first. 39-33. And it's Carthage bringing it up. Top of the circle. Here's Collins. He'll take it into the paint. They back off of him, and he scores. Michael Collins took it into the paint area. Howard backed off, and he scores. Greg Garrett against full court pressure. Will cut it back to the right down across the line. Picked up by Collins. Collins reaching and swatting the ball into the stand. 41-33 is your score. 8-point lead now for Carthage. The Buffaloes came out, cut it to 2 on a three-pointer, but right back to 8 now it goes. Again, the Buffaloes have never led in this game. Inside, Billy Crouch spinning to the baseline. Jumper good. Bill with 13 now. 41-35. We've played almost 2 minutes into the second half. Here's Collins, top of the circle. They back off of him again. He fires. It rims out. No good this time. Rebound tipped around. Collins tips it back to King. No good. Michael Collins, boy, a heady play there. Instead of trying to come up with the ball, he just tipped it right back at King. Now here comes Clarkrange. Brian Copeland losing the handle and is called for traveling. Clarkrange a little out of control that time, called for traveling. But again, Collins just tipping the ball right back to Kenrick King, but King failed to score. Up court it comes there. Ooh, Larry Howard maybe got away with a foul that time as he bumps into Brim. The ball to Collins. Collins driving in the lane, lays it up there. Nicely done. Michael Collins. Collins with 16. Greg Garrett trying to walk the sideline, and he is fouled. And this one will go against B.J. Washer, I believe. No, they say... Well, they call the foul, I thought, against 32. And do we have a 32 out there? Maybe I read the signal wrong. We'll have to say B.J. Washer on that, he or Andy Brim. Here's Matt Miller, crashes into Gresham, and Gresham going to be called for this foul. Gresham's third. Gresham, a blocking foul, fouling Miller. 43-35, but earlier it was Greg Garrett being forced against the sideline over there, and it's called, a foul was called against Carthage, and looked like either Brim or Washer, but looked like the indication was number 32, and there's not a 32 on the floor. And the lane it goes, Billy Crouch, bank shot, good by Billy. Billy with 15. The Buffaloes have it down to a 5-point lead, or 6 now it is, 43-37. B.J. Washer with 5:05 to go in the circle. Here's Collins, double teamed by Miller and Garrett. Inside, stolen away. Larry Howard intercepts the pass intended for Kenrick King, and Howard will be fouled by Michael Collins. Collins will be charged with his second. (43-37), 6-point lead for Carthage. Just under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. And it comes to Brian Copeland. Copeland back to Garrett, and Garrett will set it up. Garrett to Miller. Miller hands it back off to Brian Copeland. Back over to Garrett. Inside, picks off, tried to get it to Billy Crouch. Kenrick King intercepts. And the Owls bring it back quickly down to Gresham. 4:37 over to B.J. Washer, who threw it away. Kenrick King wasn't expected the pass as it came to Washer. He just fired it right back at Kenrick King, who wasn't expecting that one. And Carthage turns it over. Here is Greg Garrett, works it around Washer. He stepped on the sideline. Washer forces Garrett into the sideline. 43-37, so a Clarkrange turnover, or good defense there by Carthage as they forced him into the sideline. 43-37, 4:28 to go in the third quarter. Matt Miller working against Gresham, trying to come up with a steal. Gresham down to Kenrick King, way out in the right corner. He's going to fire a three. It bounces up high, no good, and on the rebound, they're going to call Larry Howard for a foul. Larry Howard will be called for, or was that against Larry? It was against Larry Howard, his third. B.J. Washer to bring it in. Washer in underneath the basket to Brim. Over to Kenrick King. Bank shot good. Kenrick King now with about 12, looks like, or excuse me, just 10. Up Clarkrange comes to Larry Howard on the baseline. Larry through the lane. It's intercepted. Tipped by Washer. Picked off by Collins. Bad pass by Howard that time. Here is Collins in the lane jumper. Going to rattle. No good. Rebound Larry Howard. Larry out to Garrett. And Miller will bring it down. 3:45 to go in the third quarter. Clarkrange trailing by 8. They had cut it to 2 early in this quarter. Bounce pass. It's kicked away by Kenrick King. Miller trying to get the ball on the inside. And here will come big Jason Bennett. Jason Bennett must go 6'9", 6'10" back in there. We'll say about 6'9". Greg Garrett brings it in to, this is Matt Miller, back to Garrett in the corner, knocked out of his hands. He goes back and gets it. 3:32 to go in the third quarter. Garrett falling down and loses the ball, being bumped a little by Washer, but the official There's no foul involved. Garrett going down, the ball out of bounds. And B.J. Washer bringing it back in. This is Grisham, double team. Back to Washer. Washer in the circle. Michael Collins around. Oh, nice feed. And Bennett is blocked. He's tied up. Larry Howard blocks the shot of Bennett, who the ball never got out of his hands. And Larry is happy with that. No foul call. And it's a tie ball on that type of situation. Give it out to Carthage on the alternating possession. Carthage controlling. But a nice defensive play by Larry Howard as he blocks the shot and actually ties up Bennett. Inside, intercepted. They try to go inside. Billy Crouch intercepts, and now Clarkrange threw it back away. B.J. Washer intercepts and gets it over to Jason Bennett. And Michael Collins back across the line. Collins into the circle, down low to Brim. Brim working against, and he'll be called for traveling, working against Howard. And Carthage will turn it back over as we work down toward the end of the third quarter, or into the latter stages of the third quarter anyway. Just under 3 minutes to go. 2:54. This is WDEV-FM, Jamestown, Tennessee. Tonight's action coming to you from the Clarkrange High School. Matt Miller races up the right sideline, behind the back dribble. Dangerous in that situation. Flips it up. It's going to be no good. He and Bennett. And they're going to call a charge. Offensive foul against Matt Miller, as Miller takes that one all the way down, goes flying through and crashes into Bennett. And for Matt, that'll be his third foul. Over to Collins, firing for three. It's going to be no good. Rebound. Matt Miller will run it down for Clarkrange up the left side this time. And now in traffic, loses the handle. Picked up by Carthage. Michael Collins coming back up against Howard. He'll flip it up there. Air ball. Billy Crouch tips it out, and Larry Howard has it knocked out of his hands. Give it out to Clarkrange. And Jamie Deaton coming back in for Clarkrange. Two minutes and 22 seconds to go in the third quarter. Brian Copeland brings it in to Greg Garrett. Greg to Billy near the circle. Now in front court, Larry Howard will take it in against Bennett, into Jamie Deaton, who scores. Jamie Deaton getting his first two of the game. Larry Howard looked like was going to challenge the big boy that time. Instead, bounced it in to Jamie Deaton. 6-point game, 45-39. Carthage going inside, but Collins tips it back out. Carthage slowing the pace down considerably now with 1:55 to go in the third quarter. Carthage leading by 6. This is Grisham to Brim. Andy Brim to Grisham, and Carthage is really spreading it out now. They're going to stretch the Clarkrange defense. And here goes Grisham driving the lane. Larry Howard comes through, and they will call a foul on Howard. Larry Howard will be charged with a foul, but Carthage then spreading the floor out and opening up some lanes. Brim it is, thought he found one. Larry Howard came through to foul him as they both went up real high. And we'll have Matt Miller coming back in and Larry Howard coming out. Miller came out when Deaton came in. Now Howard will come out with his third foul. At the line will be number 30. This will be Brian Grisham. Brian Grisham. Free throw is no good. He has 5 points in the game, but that one is no good by Grisham. And this one is good. And it's a 7-point game, 46-39 with 1:37 to go in the third quarter. Matt Miller up the right side, behind the back dribble, into the front court. Over, bounce pass to Garrett. Garrett's feet knocked out from under him. The ball gets away, but saved by Deaton, who comes out. Now down low to Copeland. Copeland's shot blocked and a foul on. That is Bennett's fourth. Jason Bennett will pick up his fourth. A long feed coming inside to Brian Copeland, and his shot is rejected by Bennett, but a foul also called. And we'll see a substitution for Carthage. Richie Moran will be coming in. Shot up there good by Brian Copeland. Copeland's first free throw is good, and Jason Bennett will come back out. And it'll be Brian Copeland with one more. Clarkrange trailing by 6, by 5, as Copeland makes them both. 46-41 with 1:20 to go in the third quarter. Grisham across the line to B.J. Washer, and again they spread it out quite a bit. Pulling Clarkrange defense out with him. Now falling down and traveling is going to be number 30. That is Grissom. Clarkrange applying the pressure, and Grissom falls down with it. 1:10 to go in the third quarter. Brian Copeland pops free. Matt Miller gets it to him. Now back to Miller it comes. Miller over to Greg Garrett. 1:03 to go in the third quarter. Greg Garrett will drive it in along the lane. Ball batted up in the air, but saved by Miller. 57 seconds. Miller going to be way short. Shoots an air ball. Miller from the top of the key. And he shoots an air ball out of bounds. 52 seconds to go in the third quarter. Back the other way come the Owls of Carthage. Michael Collins down low. He is drawing a crowd down low. Now intercepted by Brian Copeland. Collins in a crowd tried to get the ball out of there. Was picked off by Copeland. 34 seconds. Now the ball batted away by Moran. Richie Moran almost with a steal. Copeland got it back. Greg Garrett with the basketball looking for Billy Crouch along the lane. He is fouled from behind. He is fouled from behind by B.J. Washer. And it'll be Billy Crouch going to the line for the Buffaloes. Billy Crouch at the line for Clarkrange. His team trailing by 5 with 21 seconds to go in the third quarter. Fourth quarter should be a dandy. It's up. It's good by Billy. Billy now with 16 in the game. Tonight's action is being videotaped, so you folks here in the Clarkrange area listening tonight on the radio can watch it if you have Big South 4 cable TV. The second one is good by Billy. It'll be shown on the Clarkrange cable Sunday afternoon at about 2:45. 3-point ball game, 46-43. Closest Clarkrange has been since very early. Here's a steal, Billy Crouch. Billy to Matt Miller. Back to Billy. Whistle. Traveling going to be called. Traveling call. Billy Crouch. Matt Miller stole the ball, got it to Billy Crouch, who... Billy got it back to Matt Miller, and traveling somewhere along the way is called. 7 seconds to go. There's almost a steal. Grisham to Washer. Down to 2 seconds. They're not going to get a shot away. In the three quarters, we've got a dandy brewing. Carthage 46, Clarkrange 43, back in 1 minute.
Join our hometown family at the working bank, the bank that works.
Person-to-person banking is a tradition at Union Bank. When you walk into our bank, our people can relate to you because we know you and you know us. It's been this way since 1904.
Join our hometown family at the working bank.
Union Bank, your home-owned bank in Jamestown. Member FDIC.
Fentress County General Hospital is committed to providing quality medical care for the residents of the Upper Cumberland area. Fentress County General Hospital offers a full range of services like 24-hour-a-day emergency service, cardiac evaluation, intensive care unit, surgical unit, radiology, lab, respiratory therapy, by educating the patients as much as possible, home health care, dietary, and a volunteer service program. Fentress County General Hospital, the pulse of our community.
And the Clarkrange Buffaloes have the basketball as we begin the fourth quarter. They trail by 3, 46-43. Carthage undefeated coming in. Clarkrange at 3-3. Buffaloes with the basketball. Greg Garrett is traveling. Greg Garrett trying to work around Grissom over there is called for traveling. And the Owls will get possession, leading by 3, 46-33. Clarkrange has never led in this game. Fell behind early, 7-0. They've been, here's a steal. Greg Garrett, if he can keep, now it's taken back away by Collins. Collins underneath to Kendrick King, lays it up there, no good. And the rebound, it's down on the floor. Billy Crouch coming out with it. Billy to Greg. And Greg Garrett will bring it down. Greg Garrett against Washer. Greg Garrett inside Billy Crouch. A jumper along the lane. It's going to be no good. Battle for the rebound, and Michael Collins will pull it down. Grisham with the basketball. His team leading it by 3. 7:13 to go. Clarkrange coming up with the ball that time, but couldn't score. Got it to Billy along the lane, but he couldn't get it to fall. And again, Carthage spread the floor. Here's Collins in the circle. Down low. Kenrick King up and good. Kenrick King. And up court, there's going to be a foul called against Carthage. There will be a foul against Carthage, and it'll be against Grisham, his 4th. At the line, Larry Howard. Buffaloes down by 5. Larry Howard at the line for the Buffaloes. They need all the free throws they can get, and Larry has a bunch of them in this game. This one is no good, and the rebound is by Kenrick King. Larry Howard had 18 first half points, hasn't scored in the second half. Carthage with the ball, leading by 5, and again spreading it out. Here's the ball over the head of Grisham, picked up by Garrett. Clarkrange sees Carthage turn it over one more time. Garrett in the lane. Garrett, there'll be a whistle. Hot spot Clarkrange, 3-second violation, I believe. Is that the call? No, we're going to get a foul call. We have a timeout call. And we have a timeout. And we have a timeout. Carthage with 6:36 to go in the ball game. Carthage leads at 48-43.
Need a part for your car or truck? Check with D&M Auto Sales and Salvage Yard, owned and operated by Mark Stewart, located on the Pickett State Park Road in Jamestown. They have lots of late model four-wheel drive parts for Ford, Chevy, Jeep, and Dodge, plus a good selection of radios, stereos, and speakers, 24-hour record service with complete mechanical work, too. Calling from out of county, call D&M Auto Sales and Salvage Yard toll-free at 1-800-872-1397. That's 1-800-872-1397.
Save you time and money.
Well, we at first thought there was a 3-second violation in there on Clarkrange, but apparently a foul did occur, but now some discussion as to who the foul is on. One official apparently calling it on 21 of Carthage, but the other official giving it to the bench or to the table as some other number, but I guess they have it all straight now. The foul was on 21, Andy Brim, and it's going to be Greg Garrett at the line. So Clarkrange comes out of all of that in good shape. Greg Garrett at the line. They did call a foul on Andy Brim. Free throw, no good. Clarkrange is not taking advantages of what few opportunities come their way. They've come up with a few steals, turnover or two by Carthage, but Clarkrange has not been able to take advantage of them here in the last few minutes. Still trailing by 5. Here's Collins in the lane, dumps it low. Kenrick King for 2 more. Kenrick King for Carthage. He has 14. 50-43, 7-point lead for Carthage. Matt Miller down low for Deaton, and it's knocked out of bounds by Kenrick King. 6:04 to go in the ball game. Carthage leading it 50-43. Clarkrange will play it in on their end line, and it comes to Matt Miller. Miller back over to Greg Garrett just in front of us on the left wing. He'll move it along the circle. Jumper by Greg won't fall. Rebound B.J. Washer. Washer pulls it down, gives it over to Collins on to Grisham. And the Owls bring it down. Grisham working against Crouch and Miller. Across the line to Washer. He's traveling. B.J. Washer stumbles backwards. Is called for traveling. 50-43 is your score. 5:42 to go in the game. Greg Garrett over to Larry Howard. Billy way out beyond the three-point line now. Down in the corner, Greg Garrett back along the lane. Larry Howard underneath. He'll put it up and will score. Larry Howard, his first points of the second half. He has 20, but his first of the second half. It's a 5-point game. Falling down and offensive foul. Offensive foul on Grisham, and that, I believe, will be his 5th. Apparently pushing off, and that's going to be his 5th. So Gresham fouls out, and there will be, I believe, a timeout called. Let's hold it here before we leave you. Maybe not. It'll be coming into the game, number 12, and that'll be David Blair, who has played several minutes of the game. So Gresham will leave. He's had a good ball game, scoring 6 points, but more so a good floor game than scoring points. And now it's Clarkrange's ball. Then it comes. Greg Garrett is knocked away and picked up. Grisham. And now losing the ball is, it's going to be Black's ball, as knocking it out was Greg Garrett. Greg Garrett's inbounds pass was knocked away and stolen. And then he tried to get the ball back, knocks it out of bounds. And it comes to number 21, Brim. Back across the line is Collins into the lane. Collins all the way down, lays it up and good, and it'll be a blocking foul on Garrett. Block on Garrett. And did they count the bucket? No indication, so apparently they didn't. 2 shots coming. The officials discussed, did they count the basket? They will count it. And it'll be 1 shot coming. Collins coming through the lane, laying it up from in front, was fouled by Garrett. And the free throw by Collins is good. Michael Collins with 19, and it's back to an 8-point lead now for Carthage after Clarkrange had it down to 2 at one point in this half. Here's Miller firing good. Matt Miller from the circle. He gets 2 for that. Miller with 6 points, and it's a 6-point game, 53-47. It has been a rather close game for most of the way. Carthage in front court, and again out near midcourt, and now traveling will be called on B.J. Washer. B.J. Washer called for traveling at midcourt. 53-47 your score. Clarkrange down by 6. 4:43. Greg Garrett working against B.J. Washer. Over on the wing to Larry Howard. Billy Crouch out near the hash mark right side, guarded by Kenrick King. Along the lane, Larry Howard. Larry double teamed. Puts it up. No good. Rebound. Billy putting it back in. No good. Too hard. And the rebound this time is by Brim, number 21. Clarkrange's couple of shots. Billy, I thought surely would fall, but a little too hard apparently. Across the line, Michael Collins, and Matt Miller will foul him. Matt Miller picking up his 4th. 4:17 to go in the action. At the line will be Michael Collins. Collins with 19. And this one by Collins is good. Collins with 20, we show. And you'll have one more. And it is good. 55-47, Greg Garrett to Larry Howard. Larry races it through the traffic into the front court. Over to Billy. Billy going to put up a 3-pointer. It's going to be no good. Long rebound. Matt Miller back into the lane. Down to Larry. Larry to the glass. Too hard. Clarkrange cannot get a break. 2 shots by Clarkrange. That time wouldn't fall. Last couple of trips down, they've had shots on the inside that normally they would make. 3:50 to go. Clarkrange down by 8 points again. 55-47. Here's Michael Collins in the lane. It's up. It's no good. Rebound by Blair. No good. And Larry Howard finally with a rebound for Clarkrange. Buffaloes see time running out on them, but they're only down by 8, so they've got plenty of time, but not much to waste. Here's Larry Howard from the corner. That's no good. Rebound Matt Miller on the left baseline. Will turn. He'll kick the ball that's rolling on the floor. Billy Crouch trying to save it. Does. Billy will kick it inside Jamie Deaton. Jamie up and no good. Crashes into Blair. Ball on the floor. Picked up by Howard. Howard up and good. They're letting him play. Larry Howard finally getting one to fall for Clarkrange. 55-49. Bodies were flying everywhere out there. And it's a 6. But here's a steal by Greg Garrett. Greg Garrett takes it away from Collins. Greg now almost tied up, and they say he was tied up by Washer, and it'll go back to Carthage. As Garrett made the steal, and Washer ties him up. And it goes back to Carthage. Now 2:57, under 3 minutes to go. Greg Garrett again trying for the steal, not getting it that time. Collins into the front court to Blair. To Brim, and they'll spread out the floor again. To Brim at the top of the circle, back near midcourt to Collins. Collins twisting, turning, working against Garrett. Into the lane goes Collins, dumps it low, wide open Kenrick King. Kenrick King, that gives him 10 in this half. He did not start the game. Now Larry Howard ran off and left the ball. He got behind him and picked up by Collins down to 2:25, and Carthage is going to want a timeout to set it up for the last 2.5 minutes. 2:22 to go in the game, and it is Carthage 57, Clarkrange 49.
You're number one in our book.
Fentress County Sheriff Mitch Stevens says, in basketball, making that free throw and getting the fast break can mean the difference between winning and losing, and driving safely could mean the difference between a good trip and one that is filled with horror. So drive carefully and buckle up for safety. Sheriff Stevens congratulates the Dragons and Buffaloes on their good sportsmanship and wishes them much success in their quest for the state championship.
You're number one with us.
2 minutes and 22 seconds remaining in the ball game, with Carthage leading by 8, 57-49. If you're wondering when York will be playing Carthage, it'll be in January on the 11th. Carthage will be coming to York, and then on the 25th we'll be going down there. So York and Carthage to play twice in January. And the boys' game will be an outstanding affair. And again, it'll be two big teams when York and Carthage meet. 2:22 to go in the game, and it's Carthage basketball as action resumes. 57-49, they lead it by 8. Across the line, it comes to B.J. Washer. Washer out in the corner to Kenrick King. Underneath the Brim. Brim, a 5-footer, good. Andy Brim getting his first points out of the game. Greg Garrett coming back for Clarkrange, down now by 10 points, 59-49. Greg Garrett along the lane to Larry Howard. Larry against Kenrick King. He'll take it. Nice move to the glass. Larry Howard. Beautiful move. He's got 24. 59-51, a minute 50 to go. Michael Collins across to Brim. Oh, this is Blair, rather. Blair, he traveled. No, the ball's taken away. He let go of the ball, or he would have traveled. Billy Crouch picks it up. Up court to Greg Garrett. Down in the corner. Underneath, tried to get it to Miller. Knocked away. And Greg, I think, got caught up in the air himself. Had to get rid of the ball when he might otherwise have made a better pass. It was picked off. Michael Collins into the front court, a minute 25 to go. Collins double teamed, trapped down in the corner, and he calls a timeout. Collins found himself trapped in the corner and calls a timeout. With a minute 22 to go in the game, we'll take a timeout. Carthage leads at 59-51.
Sports are important in a community like ours. They bring people together and give them a shared sense of belonging. At Fentress County Bank, we work hard to give our customers a similar feeling when they walk through the door. We want them to feel as though they're doing business with a friend, not an institution. We're reliable, stable, courteous, and efficient. And above all, we're proud to be part of the continuing growth of Fentress County. Fentress County Bank.
A minute 22 to go in the ball game. Clarkrange trailing by 8, 59-51. They have never led in this game. They trailed early 7-0, but they've been back in it and actually in the game all the way. They, like I said, fell behind early 7-0, but at one point here in the second half had it down to a 2-point game, but that is as close as they could get. Never have been able to get it back into a tie. And it's going to be Smith County Carthage basketball as we begin the last minute and 20 seconds. Into Collins. Collins over to Brim. Back to Collins, and Clarkrange having to go for the ball. Collins fell down with it. He'll be called for traveling. No, he crossed the line. He fell down. Calling traveling would have made as much sense, I guess, but his one hand came back across the line, and so they call it over and back. A minute 10 to go. Clarkrange will get another opportunity, and it comes to Matt Miller. Now the ball knocked out of his hands, picked up by Brim. Brim is tripped by Miller. Probably a good thing because Michael Collins was wide open, and Miller inadvertently tripped Brim. And for Miller, that's going to be his 5th. So Matt has played almost all the way in this one. He'll leave after scoring 6 points. And it's going to be Andy Brim at the line for the Owls. 1:05 to go in the game. You can hear Coach Dirk Ash on the sideline shouting out his play. 1:05 to go in the game. Jamie Deaton coming back in. Jamie Deaton coming back for the Buffaloes, and thought he is asking for a timeout. Timeout, Clarkrange. 1:05 to go. 59-51 Carthage by 8.
Do you hate the thought of picking up your movie rental, then driving across town to the convenience store for your movie munchies? Well, Showtime Video now features taco salads for $1.25, nachos 69 cents, 2 tacos for $1.25, plus all your favorite pizzas, frozen yogurt, and popcorn. And it's all in the same location where you'll find the biggest selection of movies around, and more copies of new arrivals. While you're there, pick up your free copy of Video Events Magazine with news and reviews on all new and past movies. Open 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Friday and Saturday, and 12 to 10 on Sunday. Showtime Video, the 4-way in Allard. We rent movies plus a whole lot more.
1:05 remaining in the ball game, and Carthage leading 59-51. Looked like Clarkrange was maybe going to be able to get back into a tie there at one point, in fact several times, but never been able to get it over the hump, and they trail now by 8 points. So their work is really cut out for them. And when action resumes, Andy Brim going to be at the line for Carthage, shooting 1-1. Brim at the line for the Owls. They lead it by 8, looking to remain undefeated. They are 6-0 overall, 2-0 in their district. Again, York will see them twice in January within the space of 2 weeks. And it's up and good by Brim. Carthage will be at York on January 11th, and York will be down there on the 25th of January. So 1 week they play at York, and then 2 weeks later they're at Carthage. This one by Brim, it's also good. Brim with 4. Exactly 1 minute to go. Up court it comes to Brian Copeland along the lane. Jamie Deaton. Jamie over Collins. It's no good. Put back by Billy Crouch and good. Billy with 19. 8-point game. 50 seconds to go. Michael Collins in backcourt. He's traveling. He's backing up. He's traveling. Collins coming up the right side. Met Copeland and Garrett there, and rather nonchalantly, just taking his time, backed up a step, and is called for traveling. And it comes to Brian Copeland. Billy Crouch going to fire a 3. It's good. Billy Crouch, and Clarkrange suddenly leaps back into it. They trail by 5. 61-56, 38 seconds to go. Underneath it goes to the big boy. Bennett, his shot is blocked. Blocked by Howard. Who gets the ball? Clarkrange. Hey, we're going down to the wire. Looked like maybe Carthage was about to turn the lights out on him, but then Billy Crouch hits a 3 to make it a 5-point game, 61-56. Larry Howard blocks the shot of Bennett. That ties him up, and Clarkrange is going to get it. Greg Garrett brings it in to Brian Copeland. Copeland into the front court to Billy. Billy for a 3. Short. Kendrick King with a rebound. It pops out of his hands, but picked up by Collins. 24 seconds. Ball knocked out of his hands. Now it's going to come back into Washer. Clarkrange going for the ball. Up court, they threw it away. They threw it away. Clarkrange, great pressure. Tried to hit Kendrick King right here on the sideline. And then it will come. Greg Garrett brings it in to Larry Howard, 17 seconds. Larry Howard to Billy Crouch. Billy with people hanging on him for 3. No good. Rebound tipped out. It'll go to Garrett. 11 seconds. Greg for 3. No good. It's Copeland. Shot blocked by Andy Brim. Now there's a fight going on the floor, and they're going to have to separate a couple of the players. And there's some extracurricular activities going on out there, and a couple of the players getting into it. And we had a fan or two. A fan or two, I think, took exception. The coaches went out to separate the players. And the officials saying, I've got timeout while they sort this all out. A couple of the players getting into it, and we're down on the floor. And the coaches, Coach Dirk Ash specifically ran out there to separate them, and one of the fans ran out And I think jerking the coach back, and they have cleared the floor. And the officials talking to the coaches. There are 6 seconds remaining. There is timeout on the floor. So now the officials, Mr. Hall, trying to get the fans back from the edge of the floor. And so with 6 seconds showing on the clock, it is 61-56. Clarkrange, a lot of opportunities there. Or trying to make them opportunities. They weren't real high percentage shots, to be sure, but they were taking them. Of course, they have to, down by 6 points, but couldn't get any of them to fall. And as the ball came over into the corner here, a shot by Brian Copeland was swatted out of bounds by, I believe, Brim. And next thing you know, a couple of the players are fighting on the floor. And Coach Ash ran out there along with others, the officials, trying to separate them. And I think we had a fan or two get involved, and that's all been cleared now. We have 6 seconds to go. And it'll be Clarkrange basketball, so maybe they get one more opportunity, but it looks like Carthage is going to pull this one out. Jamie Deaton brings it in. Billy Kraft, Billy with 5 seconds, firing for three. It's going to be an air ball. Jamie Deaton, his shot blocked. He'll be fouled, and Jamie will go to the line with 2 seconds showing. No one ejected. I'm kind of surprised by that, but glad for it at the same time. A couple of the players were actually rolling on the floor fighting, and no one ejected, apparently. 2 seconds to go. Jamie Deaton going to be at the line. Two seconds to go. Jamie Deaton at the line. It's up and good. Jamie getting his 3rd point of the game. 61-57. Jamie Deaton will have another one coming. And this one is no good, and Carthage with the rebound, and that's your ball game. 61-57, your final. Carthage 61. Clarkrange 57. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Big investments call for extra care and selection. For anything as important as a new home or business, knowing and trusting your contractor. That's why these words about Blevins Ditching and Excavating. For many years, they have served residential business and industry in this area with custom backhoe work and excavating and has earned their trust. No matter what size the job, call them at 879-5923. Construction specialists with equipment and know-how to get the job done.
Satisfaction guaranteed.
Sooner or later, all vehicles need repairs or service. That's when you need a dealership who puts as much emphasis on service after the sale as he does on selling cars. At Crossville Ford Lincoln Mercury, we have a staff of highly trained technicians and a large inventory of factory-authorized parts for your car or truck. If you're considering buying a new car or truck, come by Crossville Ford Lincoln Mercury and buy where you know you'll get service after the sale. Crossville Ford Lincoln Mercury.
Tomorrow's communication systems are here today. Familiarize yourself with the future. You'll be living there soon. Call Twin Lakes Telephone Cooperative at 879-5811 and ask about their many custom calling features to meet your needs far into the future. Twin Lakes Technology of the Future is supplying you with advanced systems such as speed calling, three-party conference, call forwarding, call waiting, and others. Technology of the Future here today at Twin Lakes Telephone Cooperative.
Progressive Savings Bank is the Step Ahead Bank.
We're the Step Ahead Bank, 'cause we're stepping ahead every day.
Hello, I'm Wesley Neal of Progressive Savings Bank. A lot of hard work goes into the making of a good sports program, and here in our area, we have some of the finest. We're proud to be a sponsor of local sports and invite you to join us in supporting our teams.
Progressive Savings Bank, Jamestown and Wartburg, keeping you a step ahead. Insured by FDIC.
And so back here at the Clarkrange High School, the schools gain a split this evening with Carthage taking the boys' contest, Clarkrange the girls. The final in the boys' game, 61-57. Clarkrange winning the girls' game 75-44. So the Carthage boys remaining undefeated. They'll go to 7-0. And the Clarkrange boys go to 3-4. Going back, giving you a wrap-up on the two games together. The Clarkrange girls this evening defeat Carthage 75-44. Clarkrange girls now 7-1 overall on the season. For Clarkrange, 20 points, Becky Gawney. Linda Dishman had 8. 11 for Lisa Poe. 12 for Lee Atkinson. 9 points for Kristen Johnson. 4 points for Melanie Richards. 2 points for Angie Robbins. Make that 4 points for Angie Robbins. 5 points for Amy Tipton. 2 points for Melinda A. Atkinson. For Carthage, their leading scorer this evening was Rachel Carter with 14. Clarkrange girls 75, Carthage 44, Clarkrange 7-1 overall. In the boys' game, Carthage defeats Clarkrange 61-57. For Clarkrange, Larry Howard 24 points, Billy Crouch had 22, Jamie Deaton had 3, 6 points for Matt Miller and 2 points for Brian Knatzer. For Carthage, they were led in scoring by Michael Collins with 21 points. So the Clarkrange Buffaloes dropped to 3-4. The Carthage Owls remaining undefeated at 7-0. So Carthage and Clarkrange gain a split this evening with Clarkrange, the girls' game 75-44. Carthage, the boys' game by a score of 61-57. So the next action for Clarkrange will be